I just want to read you one very short letter, though, and I think this will tell you something interesting about the whole issue of anti-Semitism. After my aunt retired from Radcliffe, from her job, her position running this career service and some ancillary programs for people, she was really a trailblazer. She created a publishing procedures course to teach initially young women how to get jobs in the publishing business. That course still exists. It's now housed at Columbia University in New York. And so when she retired, her former students did a sort of celebration and testimonial, and there were letters, and there was a little booklet that was published, which I have and which I used. And here's a grateful former student's note. It begins like this. What did Edith Stedman do for me? As with most members of the personnel training course, my first contact with Radcliffe was with her. After we discussed my career aims, Miss Stedman, with no preamble, said, "You are Jewish. I will not be able to find you a job. You'll have to find your own." Her bluntness helped me in every subsequent job interview. The Jewish alumna's letter goes on to explain that later in her career, Edith and the Appointments Bureau did, in fact, help her find jobs. But in the 1930s, the formidable woman who convinced men from Boston to Washington and beyond to accept the notion that women could do men's work firmly believed that despite her wide circle of contacts, she would not be able to find a job for a Jewish woman. So I think this puts the whole issue of anti-Semitism in perspective. It's not exactly anti-Semitism, really. It's a belief, and a belief that perhaps comes out of her New England upbringing. Her brother, my grandfather was an Episcopal minister, after all, that she wouldn't be able to do it, that Jews would not be acceptable in the workplace. And that was something that my father certainly faced. And not just my father-in-law, who went to Columbia University, could not get into a medical school in this country because medical schools had quotas, so quotas for Jews. And so he went to medical school overseas in Hungary, and other people did that too. So, you know, for those of you who are young in this room, like my students sitting over there, you live in fortunate times, in respect at least to issues of race and religion. You may not think so, but you do.